Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dingy from Abbott Nutrition R&D, Pacific Asia, based in Singapore. And in the next section, I will share a new test method to determine the human milk oligosaccharides, HMO, by ion exchange chromatography through a high-performance anion exchange chromatography coupled with pulsed amperometric detection. In my presentation, I will start with introduction of the HMO, followed by the test methods, including the instrumentation we use, sample preparation. Then I will go to the method performance like linearity, accuracy, precision. Lastly, I will give a summary and then acknowledgement. As you can see, HMO, human milk oligosaccharides, they are a specific complex category of the glycans present in breast milk. And they are actually one of the most abundant solid components in breast milk, right after fat and lactose. Overall, there are more than 150 different types of the HMO, and they definitely have the benefits for the gut health, immunity system, and cognition development for the babies. And here, among all these HMOs, 5 of them, including 2FL, 3FL, LNT, 6SL, and 3SL. These 5 HMO take up more than half of the total HMO in breast milk. And here, 2FL refers to 2-fructose-lactose, 3FL is 3-fructose-lactose, LNT is lactotetrarose, and 3SL is 3-silyl lactose, and 6SL refers to 6-silyl lactose. And if we look at the chart here, among these 5 HMOs, 2FL and 3FL, both of them are the 2 main HMO among them. And these 5 HMO, they are under different category of the human milk prebiotics. And these different type of the HMO, they support different functions in the baby's body. For example, LNT, it will support the digestive health and the immune support for the babies, where the rest of 4 HMOs, besides the digestive health, immune support, they are benefit for the baby's brain development as well. Because of this benefit, Abbott Nutrition fortify this HMO into our products. And here is one of the products launched in Vietnam with 5 HMOs fortified. And therefore, we have to develop and validate a test method to capture and quantify the HMOs we fortify into our products. And the testing platform we are using is ion exchange chromatography, which is HPAEC PAD. A little bit more about this instrument and the technique. This ion exchange chromatography is actually a very widely used technique to determine the extensive set of the carbohydrates, including monosaccharides, disaccharides, oligosaccharides, sugar alcohol, and etc. Meantime, it also permits direct quantification of the non-devotized carbohydrates at a low level, such as ppm level, with minimal sample preparation and cleanup, therefore reducing the lab costs and the analysis costs. Meantime, this technique also eliminates the errors associated with the analyte devotization. And in this slide, I will explain to you how the separation is achieved. For the sugars, they are naturally weakly acidic condition. Therefore, at the higher pH, the sugars will at least partially ionized. And as shown in this table, the different sugar have a different pKa. And making use of this, the HPAEC enabled to achieve a selective separation at an alkali condition by using a strong anion exchange stationary phase. And in its application, the usual silica-based stationary phase is not suitable because it may dissolve at a high pH alkali condition. However, a base stable polymer anion exchange column is well suitable for this ion exchange at a higher pH application. And the photo here is the PA1 column from Thermo Scientific that we used in this test method. But of course, in your method development and application, there are other different types of the column available for you based on the analyte of your interest. For example, PA100 column is more suitable for certain type of the oligosaccharides, where the MA1 column is more suitable for the sugar alcohols. And this technique, it has its own limitation also. For example, it usually faces the issue with the consistency and the robustness. However, because of the benefit which described in the previous slide, this testing platform is still the most applicable technique for the different types of the carbohydrate that Abbott Nutrition fortified into our products. Because of this, Abbott Nutrition invests this platform, HPAEC-PAD, as a comprehensive testing platform for the carbohydrate analysis at our tech centers and also plant laboratories. Next, I will explain further about some detail of the instrumentation. So the instrument I'm using in our lab is the Thermo Fisher ICS 5000 system. It comes with a triple pulse electrochemical cell. The pH is controlled by a pH reference electrode, silver chloride pH reference electrode, where the oxidation and the reduction occur on the gold working electrode. As mentioned, a CarboPack PA1 analytical column is used for the separation. And in front of the column, a PA1 gut column is used to protect the real analytical column. So these are the whole set of the instrumentation. In terms of the electrochemical cell wave, in this table lists out the cell wave we apply in this method and the potential applied during the oxidation and reduction. And in this slide, I will talk about the mobile phases, the gradient conditions. Typically, in the ion exchange chromatography, 3 eluents are generally used. They are water, sodium hydroxide, sodium acetate. For sodium hydroxide, it is to provide an alkaline environment condition for the analysis. By modifying the concentration of sodium hydroxide will allow the separation because the separation of the analytes are pH dependent. For the sodium acetate mobile phase, it is a very strong anion exchanger. So we call it as a pusher. So by adjusting the sodium acetate concentration, you are able to increase and reduce the retention time of your analyte of target without significantly affecting the resolution. Lastly is the water. Water is basically to dilute the sodium acetate and the sodium hydroxide to achieve the desired resolution and the separation. And in this table is the gradient condition that used in this HMO test method. So you can tell that overall it's a 60 minutes sequence per injection. And number 4 is the sodium acetate, which is a pusher. And if you look at this chromatogram, at the beginning, we do not use sodium acetate, but it will slowly increase until all the target HMOs has been eluded out. And until everything come out, we will increase the pusher concentration to clean up and remove everything. Then go back to 0 to re-equilibrium the system for the next injection. Yeah. In terms of sample preparation, as mentioned, this technique requires minimal sample preparation and cleanup. So for this test method, basically there are only 3 steps. The first step is just weighing the suitable amount of your sample, and which containing about 4,000 ppm of the total HMOs. The second step is an enzymatic treatment. This is to remove the possible interference from the other carbohydrates. So this enzymatic treatment including adding the fructose solution and the aminoglutamate solution. Both are the enzyme solution. Then dilute the sample with a pH buffer and do an incubation at 40 degrees for 45 minutes to complete the enzymatic treatment. The last step is just do a simple syringe filtration, load the sample to auto-sampler valve, then do the instrument analysis. So the sample preparation is pretty straightforward. And then here is the chromatogram of the mix of these 5 HMOs. Show the separation. From the left to right, 3FL, 2FL, LNT, 3SL, and 6SL. And the quantification is based on a 5 level of the standard through a quadratic calibration curve, which is shown here. And for the individual standards, they all shows a good coefficient with a value greater than 0.9995, and showing a good linear relationship at this range amount for the standards between about 2 ppm to 100 ppm. Okay, in this slide, I will explain to you a little bit to you about the enzymatic treatment. So beside the HMO, there are actually other type of the carbohydrates and the sugars in the products. They may potentially interfere with the HMOs. Therefore, in this test method, we include the enzymatic treatment steps. For the potential interference, they may come from the fructose, such as FOS, such as inulin. They may come from the starch as well, maltodextrin, and some sugar like sucrose. To overcome this potential interference, we added fructose and the aminoglutamate, both enzyme solution, to remove the potential interference. And here, I put an overlay of a same sample before and after enzymatic treatment. At the bottom is the sample without enzyme treatment. So you can see that there are few peaks here, and some of the larger peak is just next to the small HMO peaks, which will make the peak integration difficult, and they are affecting the test method's performance. But after the enzymatic treatment, you may find that majority of this interference peak has been efficiently removed, and of course form some monosaccharides, but they will be eluted at the early stage, which is free interference from our analyte of interest, which are the HMOs. To further zoom in, before enzymatic treatment, you may notice that for the 3-SL and the 6-SL, there are large peaks in front or just next to it, which make the integration difficult. But after enzymatic treatment, you can see that these peaks are efficiently removed, which significantly help us to improve the test method's performance, such as precision. During the method validation, this method's accuracy was evaluated by the spiking recovery in our sample product metrics, and it achieved between 100 to 109% recovery for the total 5 HMOs. For the 3-SL, we have a higher recovery. Mainly is because of the 3-SL is the lowest HMO among the 5 HMOs. And here, for the individual HMO, here is one of our internal control sample data. So you may find that for the individual HMO, like 3FL, 2FL, LNT, 6L, they have a good RSD, generally less than 5%. It's only just 3SL. It has about 10% RSD. Again, possibly due to the level of this 3SL. After this method is validated, we apply it, we perform some application. First one is we do a proper method transfer to get this method transfer from our global analytical and food safety to ISO, our laboratory, our third-party lab. After the test method transfer complete, this lab is able to test the 5 HMOs for our commercial samples testing. Meantime, we also get this method set up in our R&D lab in Singapore. The purpose is this will allow us to perform some in-house research testing to support the new product development regionally. Another purpose is this will also allow us to conduct some training, for example, to the NIFC scientists on site in Singapore for this test method. All right, to summarize, in this presentation, a new test method to determine human milk oligosaccharides for Abbott nutritional products by using an ion exchange chromatography is developed and validated. This method's instrumentation and its separation principle were introduced, and the sample preparation details, such as enzymatic treatment, were discussed. And the test method's performance and its application is also described. Lastly, we would like to thank National Institute for Food Control inviting us to have an opportunity to present our work in this conference. Meantime, I want to express my thanks to our scientist, Philip, who is based in US, and he's the method author of this HMO test method. He has been great support us during the method transfer and method setup in our lab. Yeah. With this, I will end my presentation. Thank you for your attention.